Hey guys, Deathscyp here from YCG, your casual gamer. Sorry it took a while before I started posting again, but it's gonna be worth your while. I'm bringing to you guys a 5-part episode where you're gonna learn all these that you see on screen over here. And in the first 2 episodes, we're gonna learn how to make this little scene over here where you can interact with the cubes that are gonna be automatically set to checkpoints for your level that are gonna communicate with the game instance and also the level blueprint. So the first part, we're gonna learn how to make this little cube material, because like always, I like to separate all my tutorials so that you get to come back to them and separate each subject, and how to make them change with a trigger value. In the second part, we're going to learn how to make the blueprint system that is going to communicate with these little cubes to make it so that they become checkpoints. And when I press the F key, it's going to know where you are on the level and it's going to activate the right checkpoint. For the third part, we are going to learn how to recreate this blueprint on the left and on the right that are going to be another type of checkpoints, more efficient I find, and more intermediate because you need to know how to interact with them, and also how to make all these little animations. We are going to build them together and separate episodes too, like I said, covering different subject on different episodes. But we are going to be, the end result is going to be that when you interact with this little object, you're going to have the message to prompt you that you can interact with it. All these little animations are going to happen and with this nice little tune, and when you get to the other one, the same thing happens. And not only that, but the level now knows that the first one is going to be unactivated, and when I press the F key, it's going to know where you are in your scene again, and you can't interact with the first one, the one you activated. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so if you're wondering where I'm standing, actually I'm inside the first person character template room. I just created this because why not? It was a better way to place everything that I wanted to show you guys following these episodes. So let's get started with the material for the glowing. So it's a transparent material. It's actually pretty easy to make. It's just when you don't know how to make it, it just sucks. So I figured why not make a short episode and making it. So I got these over here. Let's don't worry about those. Let's make a new material over here. Right click, material, call it M for material, and glow, and I'm gonna call it 1 because I already have one made. And jump inside the material editor. And all you have to do is we're gonna make over here, we're gonna set the blend mode to translucent. Here we're gonna press Alt 3 and left click to make a 3 vector. That's gonna be your color, and just set it to white. So RGB, just put it to white, 111. Then we're gonna make a multiplier, or M key click, and a 1 vector over here for the value. We're going to be multiplying these by 10. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to make this glow a little bit. We're going to put this inside the emissive color like this, and for the opacity we're going to do a 1 vector and connect it to this over here, and for here let's put the value pretty low to 0.003. It has to be really low to get the transparency effect, and as you can see on screen, I already have what I need. Now to be able to do your material instance with this variants, so not to have to copy this material over and over and always having to tweak the parameters over here, we're going to change all of these to custom parameters. And to do so, it's really easy. You right click on it and convert to parameter. Call this color. Over here we're going to do the same thing, convert to parameter, put this to emissive intensity, and for this over here we're going to do again and call it transparency. And this is it. You are done with the blueprint part for your material. Very easy to make a little glowing material. Maybe you want to make a, I don't know, a screen that's going to be flashing a little bit on top, and you just want to put a cube to show that there's like an emissive coming out of it. This is a quick and easy way to make it. or to make our checkpoint cubes or anything that would be transparent, like a projector or something like that, for like a I don't know, a planet or something like that. Now let's make a material instance from it. So you're going to right click and create material instance. Again, just for purpose of wellness, I always like to put mi, because material instance, that's how you're going to do it. And this one we're going to name it no, 1 underscore red. And let's double click inside, and we're going to change the color so you can see over here all the parameters you set are now going to be available to you inside the material editor. So for this, I want to put it to red, so let's put it to 0, 0, and there you have your red cube. You can put it more red if you want. You can play with the intensity if you wanted more red too. And for the transparency, I'm okay with this setting. So I'm going to save that, close that, make a duplicate, call it green, and from here we're going to set it to green. So let's copy that value inside the green and close this to 0. And now you have your green cube. And you're done for this schematic part. Now we're going to make our cubes. So we're going to bring our cubes in, just like this, in the persistent level. Copy one on the other side. Oh, you know what? Let's call it CP for checkpoint underscore 1. And as soon as you do that to the first one, if you alt click and bring another copy out, it's going to automatically call it 2. Nice little neat trick if you didn't know about that. So let's bring the red in. So both of them are going to be red right now. And then we're going to make our trigger volume. So trigger volume, bring in it here over here. Maybe make it a little smaller. And let's bring this and copy. Whoops, before I do that, let's make sure to name it well. So let's call it trigger CP1. And then I'll drag another copy over here. And there you have it. Now all this is going to happen inside the persistent level, but we're going to make a little logic so that when you reach inside one of those cubes, the other one, if it's, well, you're going to activate this one to be green, and when you get to the other one, you're going to be able to reset this one to red and put this one green, so that we are ready to build our checkpoint system. So just select one of the two trigger volume, right click on the edges, make an on actor begin overlap, and it's going to send you over here so you can start making your little program. Same thing with this one over here, right click, add event, on begin overlap, and that's for the second one. Now another thing you're going to have to do is the cube by default, they have collision, so you're going to have to go inside the collision preset of the cube and put them to no collision, just so that you can step through them without problem. Save everything like this. Having them both selected, we're going to do a reference to them inside the level blueprint. So to jump back into the level blueprint, I have my level tabs open over here, or you can just click over here and open level blueprint. Right click, make a reference to the two, and we are ready to build our logic. So CP1, CP1, CP2, CP2. Now, first thing we're always going to do, like always, I like to keep my program clean, so we can just unconnect this since this is all the logic for further in. Let's move this to the side. I actually just need that box over here, and we are going to make our cast first to first person character. Always a good practice. You're going to be using your first person character a lot in this 5 episode series, and you're going to need to make a variable for this. So get player character and convert it to promote it to a variable and call it my character. So for me, I already did that part, so I'm just going to take this bit of program over here and bring it back here. But basically all I did is I did a cast to the first person character so I can right away get the perfect check. So I just did here and promote it to a variable, click on this and name it my character. Now doing that, you're going to be able to do a check first to make sure that the character is overlapping, because right now if you start the scene, you're going to notice that this cube might be overlapping this, so it could activate the event right now, but you don't want that. So to make sure this doesn't happen, you're going to compare what is overlapping with your trigger volume. You're going to compare it with your character and branch it like this. And for the other trigger volume, is going to be the same thing. So you can just make sure that the character is in the second one, and then like this. Now if it's true, that means we're ready to carry on our program. So we're going to make this become green. So create dynamic material instance, and right away it's going to go with the elements of your mesh. So if your mesh has multiple elements, you're going to need to select which one it is. My static component mesh over here only has one element for the material, but if you check at this one, or I don't know, maybe I have one over here that has two, this one I think has two, yeah, you can see that you can have more than one element. So make sure to get the right element in. For me it's 0, and I'm going to put my glow green -1 when I interact with this. I'm going to do that. And for the other one, I'm going to put this one and copy this over here, because I'm just going to make sure that this one is red. So we're going to get the glow, but this time red. So you can just type in red. I got my red over here, and put it like this. And now you can just copy this and bring it down, and easy enough, you can just invert the two over here. Bring the checkpoint 2 to the checkpoint 1. So the checkpoint 2 is going to become green, and the other one's going to become red. And you're done with your logic. So now we learn how to make this nice look material that we can customize, that you can just send to your artist, that they can customize to have a nice glowing effect on the material. And then you could, when you jump inside the scene, you're going to see that they become green over here. And when I get to the other one, this one becomes green and the other one becomes red. So I hope you enjoy this really quick, simple way to make these two material and how to make them interact with the level blueprint. And now that is done, in the second episode we can just make the logic to make our first checkpoint system using gameInstance. And also I'm going to introduce you guys what is a gameInstance. So have a good day and see you in the next part.